Well, that was quick. Thank you. A very good morning to all of you. Thank you for coming. As you all know, it's the last slot, so yay, there's nothing after this. Okay, I'm Ganesh. I'm from Lahad Datu, Sabah. I teach in SK Pekan Lahad Datu, which is a town school actually, but the students and parents coming from there, English is not their first or even second language. It's either third or fourth, because most of them come from a Suluk or Bajaw background. See? So that was the main reason why I chose this topic. It's because they do not have an environment where everything is in English, so they do not pick up the language as quickly as students from other urban schools where, the people around them speak English, they have English programs at home. Everything around them is in the targeted language. So that's the reason I chose my topic for today, where you immerse your student in a classroom or in an environment where everything is in English, which, as you can see towards the end, aids in the learning of a language. So I think we shall begin right now. Okay. Can I have groups? Okay, grouping is difficult now. So before I start my presentation, I would like you all to just look at the picture in front of you, the group. Does anyone feel cramped? Because I do have an extra card here. Is everyone okay? Okay, good. So now, what I want you to do is, I just want you to look at the picture. You may jot down what can you see in the picture. What do you think is there? Maybe things that are not in the picture. And what is happening in the picture in front of you. And why do you think the said object or item is there in the picture? Okay, you may begin now.
If it's children, they're going to be a bit high for them to get at. I don't know what that is. It's just a bookcase.
Very colourful, as you can see. A flashcards. I think it's organised according to topics. We've got toys here with the pictures, and I think the words or descriptions.
We find that there's a bookcase. It's supposed to be a reading corner. It's really at a corner, which is half hidden by a banner, a poster, and it's not really accessible to students, and it's a bit high. It's just some books there, so it doesn't play the role of, it doesn't really function well as a reading corner.
I would like to proceed now. Just keep your ideas in mind, what you have discussed in your group, because we'll be doing an activity based on that after this. So, but before that, back please.
Very sensitive.
Sorry, it's like the owner, very sensitive. Okay. Okay, so now, what is a language-rich environment? So a language-rich environment, as in the few of the pictures you have seen, is a place where a child is surrounded by talk and opportunities to communicate with others, be it the teacher, students, other students from other classes coming in, because you have that during recess, you see, where pupils go into each other's classes and all. Okay, it's also a place stocked with suitable reading material, interactive displays, walls that are decorated with materials related to the targeted language, which in this case is English, and games which are interactive and help stimulate a child's thinking skills. For example, in my class, I use Scrabble at times. Instead of them, counting the scores and everything, you just put them together to create words, and it's sort of concrete where they do their work, on the Scrabble board. Next, please. Okay, this was my research cycle. So where I found out what the problem was in class, problem faced by the students and also the teachers, where they could not really communicate to the student in the language, targeted language. So I made a plan together with my mentor, thank you very much, plan with her on how to deal with the problem. And we made things happen, where we observed the students, we read other research on this topic and everything. And after much discussion, we made a few changes to the plans. And finally, I think it worked out, as I'll tell you later, how my students progressed from being really, really shy to speak in English, and just because of the environment, they can speak in actual full sentences, and they're only in year 3 now. Okay. So can you go next one, please? Thank you. So a brief setup on the environment. Okay, is what I've done actually. Play spaces where children can interact in small groups. It doesn't necessarily mean you group them together at a table or something. It could be just a corner where they sit down. Interactive activities where children work together. A classroom library if the school library isn't available, because my library isn't accessible all the time. So we do have a classroom library. Board games like Scrabble or Boggle. And a crafts and conversation corner where you can personalize it for your class. You can have children's artwork in there and such. Next, please. All right, the impact of the environment. English, as I've told you earlier, in Lahadatu, it's a second language, therefore there's not much exposure to the language in general, based on the environment and their parents, the children's parents and such. So a language-rich environment is where a student is immersed in a surrounding rich in the targeted language. It is also an environment which is thoughtfully planned, and it serves to stimulate students' interest, motivation, and curiosity. According to Cooper Keeger, the necessity of an environment conducive to learning and socializing is known as language-rich. Okay, next please. Okay, this is the outcome in my school. So the sample was students aged from 8 to 9 from 2 year 2 classes that come from a non-English speaking background. So English is either a third or fourth language used or heard in the environment. Research was done on one class, and the other class was kept as a control group, where both classes I taught as usual, but one class I immersed them in a language-rich environment, where the class was flooded with games and interactive materials related to the language. The other class, 2 Innovative, was a control group where the standard classroom environment was preserved. It's not that I didn't want to do the same thing to both classes, but I wanted to see the impact of it. So Dua Ikram is, as you know, they arrange the classes according to the students' capability. So Dua Ikram was a bit lower down to Ikram. So general observations were done based on behavior, attention, interest, and learning when both classes moved up to year 3, meaning to say that through general conversation, written work, perhaps their conversation with other teachers and everything. And Dua Ikram, which was the weaker of the 2 classes, performed much, much better at both proficiency, speaking English, and writing. Way better. Okay, next, please. Oh, back, sorry. Whoops, that was quick. Okay. Now, in the same groups, do you all have a paper and a pen with you? Yes. At the moment? Okay, good. I would like you to, based on the picture you have in front of you, plan an environment, perhaps reduce things which you think is not relevant in that environment. How do you make it a language-rich environment? I think you have a clean slate there, very good.
So we've got speech bubbles made by the children, the masks and the puppets maybe, their projects and little descriptions of the animals.
It can be the drama just now, dialogue, the dialogue one, it can be done maybe once a week.
The wall display is really nice, but there's not that many words. There could be more words and maybe more displays of the pupils' own work. This looks like displays that is the work of the teacher. And we can't see any empty space in this classroom for children to run around and play games. So maybe that's something that teachers could think about, having a space with no desks for more interactive activities. There's nothing more you can put. The only thing you can do is to perhaps take some of the materials down, because it seems to be very intensive and you can't focus really on what you are learning. There seems to be quite a lot of pictures, but not so much language in this part of the picture. So perhaps replacing it with something else. Yes, basically taking down some of the displays, organising it. Yeah, it's too much. It's very colourful, beautiful, but maybe too much.
Can I say that photographs lie? you would never see that with your eyes, and children would never see all of that as one scene. They would be seeing it partially. It's not too much, I don't think, because you don't see it like that. You don't see a whole corner. If you look over there, it'd be really difficult to get that close up of a picture. Well, you can't with your eyes. Children would concentrate on parts, not on the whole. It's not very good interior design, interior decoration for your house. It's a different environment, isn't it?
So they have a project in groups to find out more about the pigeon or the wolf, and then they could maybe write a diary. I wake up at, I eat ... and what they do. Make a nice board of their work and stick it up next to the animals. They were also thinking we could make some speech bubbles that the children create of what the animal is saying today, and it could be updated.
So that can be changed on a daily basis?
It could be, yes. We thought once they know this story, children love to do drama and acting, so to make this drama come to life, they could have masks or puppets or costumes, and those could be kept maybe over here in one of these corners. So the children who come early to school or in their breaks, they can just keep practicing and having fun with the language that they've learnt and they've used. We like the plants. It brings to life this idea of the jungle and the desert, the savannah, whatever. Thought maybe we could get a few more of those, some reeds, a tree painted at the back. Is there anything else?
Background, perhaps.
Change the theme once a week or a month.
Yeah, we were just remembering also to change the theme, maybe every term or every month. A new story comes in, start again. But keep all of the plants and all of the work and start it again next year with your new class.
Yes,
We're not throwing
new
things away.
students.
But as you can see, getting a language-rich environment or creating one is not that difficult, actually. I've approached teachers before I started this project. I've approached parents also, and the feedback is, oh, it's really difficult to have an environment in English, and because they can't really foresee an environment where things are in English and they're not, as you put it, separated to other subjects. But it isn't impossible, actually. Can we go to the next one? Okay, I think that's it for today. Thank you very much for your attention. You could email me or text me or something if you have any questions. But before that, answering your question, Elia, can I go to the next slide, please? This is what I've done. Is it? As you said, bilingual. Both. And next one. And, okay, last one. We have the days, the months and everything, both in Malay and in English. And it's at a readable height. See? It's not too high up, because as I see in some classes, it's almost reaching the ceiling, so it's pointless, actually. Okay. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for coming. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask. Well, that's nice. Yes?
Did you do this on your own, or did you get...
Well, I had help. Definitely I had help. Okay? Because, of course, I would like to do it by myself, but if people want to help you... Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.